Hi, my name is Vallent. I'm 30 years old. I live with epilepsy. I was diagnosed with epilepsy when I was 1.5 years old. I've been living with it, trying all kinds of medication, kienyeji included, and hospital. But then I've been trying up and down. It has been controlling it sometimes, depending on the drug that I've been using. But then, I've realized something that once somebody accepts his or her own condition, health condition, that is when that person can get assistance. For example, in my case, when I was in class 5, I used to be in a certain school, primary school, and there was this group of young girls called singing game. They were dancing and singing, and my teachers could just allow me to practice with them, but when it comes to the actual competition day, I wasn't being allowed to do that, simply because I was living with epilepsy. So, by that time, I didn't want to be open and tell anybody that I have epilepsy. Reason being, one, I didn't know their reaction. Two, I was just fearing what do these people tell me, how would they take me. So I grew up with a lot of fear, and until when I was in high school, that is when I got a counselor who was my friend, and she just talked to me freely about it and told me that now this is your life, life must go on. And that is why how I accepted it and started talking about it freely. Apart from that, epilepsy comes with a lot of challenges. Like in my case, I've lost quite a number of jobs simply because I live with epilepsy. So many employers do not understand that people living how to handle the people living with epilepsy and other diseases. So like in my case, I've lost so many jobs. I've lost so many potential men because I'm living with epilepsy. The moment you tell somebody that somebody is in love with you, he approaches you, but the moment you tell them that, oh, I live with epilepsy, that person loses interest and they just go away. It has been happening to me, but then I thank God because I've gone to school. At least I have a diploma. So many people with this kind of disability, epilepsy, do not even go to school. When they reach maybe class 6 or 7, they drop out. Reason being, there's a lot of stigmatization from the environment. For example, there's a friend of mine who lives with epilepsy. She once told me that she doesn't want to go to school anymore. Reason being, when she gets attacked in school, sometimes she gets attacked and fall down and she's on her periods. So it embarrasses her. So she doesn't want to go to school anymore because when she wakes up, when she recovers from the attack, people will be looking at her strangely. So that makes her not want to go back to school. And many other cases happen that way or even worse than that. So that is why it is so important to create awareness to school in schools, to the students, to churches, generally the whole society. I have been getting quite a number of attacks until last year, but 2019, when I got a neurologist in Kisumu. When I went to see the neurologist, I was so much impressed. Reason being, the first thing that impressed me is when I went there. When you entered the office, I went directly to see the doctor first. The doctor took almost 1 hour just attending to me, and I was with my cousin. So he talked to me, and then he asked me a lot of questions that no any other doctor has asked me. For example, he wanted to see my mother. I didn't understand by that time why he wanted to see my mother only and not even my father. But then later on, I came to understand. Then another thing, he asked me, do you have a boyfriend? I was so confused and shocked. Why boyfriend? Then he told me later, I'm asking you if you have a boyfriend. Reason being, I want to train him on how to handle you, on how to handle a person living with epilepsy. Then with my mother, he told me the mother is the person who knows when this condition started, how it started, and many more things. So this doctor really impressed me, and I think that has contributed to my healing. Because after that, I went and continued to take the drugs that he prescribed. The first 2 months, it was not so easy for me. But the drugs were really reacting. I was really reacting with the drugs. But from the 3rd month up to date, that is 2019 October, up to date, I've not got any attack. Though I feel it coming, depending on the trigger. For example, when I'm on my periods, when I'm stressed up, I'm so much excited, I feel as if I'm having an attack the next minute. But he explained simply because I'm on my drugs, the attack cannot come. So that is why I decided to teach people, create awareness about epilepsy, because there are so much myths and misconceptions about epilepsy. So many people believe that people living with epilepsy are demon possessed. So many misconceptions. So we wanted to teach the society, the community, about this epilepsy, how to handle a person living with epilepsy, and even the first aid. So when I started the foundation, we started it in 2020, April, when I lost my job. So I started creating awareness. Being that Corona was also around, I was just doing it online. So I was teaching people about epilepsy depending on my personal experience, because I'm not a doctor, so I could tell them much, but because of my personal experience, I was teaching people using that. So I was doing that on the social media. Then when people are allowed to go to church and schools, I've been doing that, going to schools, going to churches, and it has been awesome. So many people, the first time when we launched, that was November last year. Every November is a World Awareness Day for Epilepsy. So we were creating awareness that month, and we were launching the organization. So many people came. I had 12 class. For epilepsy, 12 class is so many, so a lot. Because people living with epilepsy, hawaonekani, the parents are hiding them. The parents have fear, because what will people say? What will people say? My child is demon possessed. My child is somebody wanasema ulibadilishiwa. And so many people, to me, 12 is a very big number, because I only had 2 weeks to do the mobilization and everything. So as I was doing that, these people came. My doctor, when I started this foundation, my doctor accepted to be part of it, and he has been doing this free of charge. I have not been paying him anything. He comes all the way from Kisumu and does that. So as we were doing this, many people, after you've taught them about epilepsy, they want you to, they ask you, what next? So what I did, what I was doing in collaboration with the doctor has his clinic in Kisumu, but Kisumu is very far from Rongo, from Migori County, where I come from. So the doctor proposed a certain epilepsy clinic in Kindu Bay, and that's where we've been going until today, when we decided to open a clinic epilepsy clinic around in Migori County, in Rongo Sub-County, and that is Mediana Clinic, Kanga. That is where we've opened an epilepsy clinic, but with the same doctor. So they will be coming to Mediana Clinic in Kanga. And to me, that is a very big achievement in this year. Another thing is, at the moment, apart from today, we are launching the epilepsy clinic. Apart from this, next month on 8th is Global Epilepsy Day. We will be doing it in Kuria. Why? Somebody will ask me why in Kuria. Reason being, one, I have a certain client who comes from Nyatike, but he works in Kuria. This client told me, in Kuria where I work, there are so many people with epilepsy, but nobody cares for them, and they don't even know that epilepsy can be managed in hospitals. So he proposed to me to go there one time and even teach them. But then we decided to do the official launching and the Global Epilepsy Day to celebrate that day together with them in Korea. Apart from that, we connect these people living with this kind of disability. This is epilepsy. We connect them to the government. That is, when we connect them, we try as much as possible through the social office so that they can get the disability card. This disability card has a lot of advantages. For example, once you have a disability card, you won't be taxed. That is just one of them. Another thing, apart from that, what we are doing, we are trying to empower these people, to empower them. So many of them dropped out of school, reason being they have epilepsy. So we are trying to do so much to even connect to the office of the people living with the disabilities in our county and sub-county, so that at least they can get even bursaries when they come out. They can get bursaries and go to these technical institutes, like for example we have one in Migori. So we are trying to engage those people, at least so that people living with disabilities can also go to school and even train and get a certificate. At least they can have something to do.